Ronit on the East Coast.
And Westgate on the West Coast. And we are hopelessly unedited. No editing. Zero. Well, I mean,
a little
some
bit.
that Ronit does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hopelessly almost unedited.
Yeah, almost unedited. Like those technical issues I edited out. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about some of the surprises that I've had in my life.
Crisis?
Surprises.
Surprises. Okay.
Yeah, crisis.
That was surprising. Were you surprised?
I have a lot of crises. Yeah. So I think some of these stories, I don't think any of these stories, maybe one that you've heard of. I don't think I've told you that. It's kind of amazing because I've known you for so many years. When I was thinking about these surprises, and I thought, I don't think I've told Whiskey these before. Isn't that weird? That's a surprise.
Yes.
Right?
It's bad.
Number one. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So I want to start from the beginning of my life here in America.
Okay.
Yeah. So I came here when I was 19. So that would be like in the 1986 or 7. Wait, how old am I? This year is 2026, right? 1987. That was the first time when I first came to America. So I went to a community college in Orem, Utah. But I lived in Provo, Utah, which is the next town, and they had a satellite campus in Provo. However, my apartment was I don't know, it's really not that far. If I walk, it will be 15 minutes or 20 minutes. This young woman living in my complex was really nice. She had a car and we both had classes there, so she would drive me. One day she had to leave before my last class, so she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I couldn't, I had to go to work." And I said, "Oh, no problem, I'm just gonna walk." So okay. So I walked out and was like walking along. It was just like one straight row, and all of a sudden there's a car pull up and stop next to me.
No, Ted Bundy.
See, you knew. When did you know about Ted Bundy?
Wait, shut up.
It's not Ted Bundy, but when did you know about Ted Bundy? Did you know about Ted Bundy before you came to the U.S.?
No, not at all.
Wait, what
year did you come to the U.S.? In fact, I didn't know about him for a very long time.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad. Anyway, this car pulled up next to me, and this guy, and I think he had a mustache, and, because I'm Asian, everybody, every white person looked kind of old to me. And he was only, I know, I'm so sorry, that's bad. Especially back then, I was 19. So I think he was probably 23 or 24. And he pulled up and I thought, this guy looked like he's 40. What is he doing? Right? And so he said, "Hey, do you need a ride?" And I looked at him, and that's another thing. Every white person looked the same to me, pretty much. And I looked at him because I came from Hong Kong, and there were a lot of Mormon missionaries I knew. So I thought I knew him. I thought I met him in Hong Kong. So I said, "Oh, hey, sure, great." I hopped in his car, and then we were just talking. He said, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Oh, this is the block that I live on." He said, "Okay, I'll drive you there." And I said, "Oh, so where did I meet you in Hong Kong?" And he said, "I've never been to Hong Kong." And I was like, "What?" And then he said, I said, "Didn't you go there on a mission?" And he said, "No, I went to Thailand on a mission." I said, "Oh." So he didn't know me, and I didn't know him. So I still didn't know. I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And so I got back to the apartment, and he walked me up to my apartment. And my roommates looked at him. I had 5 roommates, and I think 4 of them were home sitting in the living room doing whatever. Walked in with me, and I said, "Oh, thank you." And then he said, "Oh, can I get your phone number?" I said, "Sure." And I gave him the phone number. I said, "Oh, I'm graduating this week, and my parents will be in town. Would you like to join us for dinner? And you and I can go to a movie after." And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Sure." I'm not doing anything. So
What are
he
you doing
left.
on a date?
And
With some serial
roommates
killer.
said, our roommate's like, "Who's that?" So I told them the story, and they looked at me. They said, "You just hop in a car with a stranger?" And I said, "I thought I knew him." And then they started talking about like something Bundy. And I didn't know because Ted Bundy killed some woman in Utah as well. So like there was a big deal there. I think by then they caught him already, but still, like you just and and then they said, "You're meeting his parents?" I said, "What? Is that a problem?" And I was so surprised. I didn't know it's a problem. So I met his parents, went to a movie with him, and I think I was so weird that he didn't call me back. But that was a surprise. I didn't know. There were a couple of surprises. Ted Bundy, that was a surprise. I didn't know people actually kill people back then, like kill a lot of people. So there was a couple growing up, there were like one or two gruesome murder cases in Hong Kong, but I didn't know they would like a serial killing was a thing. I did not know that. So that was my surprise. And after that, I thought, wow, I could have been dead. And second surprise was I didn't know you were not supposed to meet the guy's parents on the first day. But yeah, so that's the
Is that
first
a thing in
surprise.
Hong Kong? Like people meet the guy's parents on the first date?
I was like freaking 19. I sort of had one boyfriend, maybe 1.5 or so at that time.
Wait, hang on. You know I'm gonna have
Okay.
to ask about the half, sorta. Like, was he half a person? Was he? Did you
Like,
just hold hand but not kiss? Did you
yeah,
like what?
I was in 6th grade. Just held hands with kids. And then I had a proper boyfriend for a while
A
before I
proper
went to the
one?
US. Yeah, like, went out on dates and, had dinner and stuff like that. But that was like high school too, so it's not a big deal, you know?
No babies?
But like, I never thought about meeting parents and stuff was a big deal because I was in Utah because they were all Mormons and like the family's always around everyone, it seems like. So I just thought, oh, they were just there. I didn't know it was a thing. So yeah, so my roommates were freaking out. And then they're like, "Are you really gonna go?" I said, "Why not? Free food, free movie, sure." I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking in my head. I mean, I didn't think he was attractive, honestly, and I thought he was kind of strange. He probably could have killed me. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like something you tell your children not to do, you know.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would do when I was young, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Did you
Uh,
ever hop in strangers' cars in Hong Kong? No, because you
no,
didn't have
people
cars.
didn't drive really.
Yeah.
You know, um, but I did worry at one point hopping on taxi because I remember there could have been a problem with taxi drivers or something. Like, yeah. So kind of like Uber drivers here, like you never know who you're hopping in, you know?
Did you hear the
You know what I
newest
mean?
trend of like Uber drivers? I mean, now they have cameras and you can report people.
How do I?
But the
Okay.
Uber drivers, they listen in on what you're saying and they report the guys who are like in cities like Las Vegas and whatnot. And
Wait, what do you
they
mean?
catch an Uber with their friends and they're like, yeah, so I have the girlfriend at home, but I'm going to bang some chick tonight at the blah, blah, blah. And so the Uber drivers, they have all these little TikToks and whatnot, where they say like, hey, if your boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, they're not just, the Uber drivers are not the only people who do this. There's a bunch, like women started doing this in general on their own pages. And I think it's badass because you deserve to know. Yeah.
We're talking about bad people.
So,
That comes to my. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, so that was your first story. So, okay, so that was a scary surprise. What about the next one? Another scary
So
surprise, it
then
sounds like.
it's I think I told you about this one. I don't know, I would say it's scary. It's almost like I couldn't believe that I was part of this thing. Um, so
So some
when
cult. You're a part of a cult. Well, yeah.
no,
I mean,
that yes, but no, I'm kidding. Um, it's a mainstream religion, Mormonism.
is that a cult?
It's a
It's not a cult, right?
no, I wouldn't say that. Maybe, I think I'm not afraid to say it. A lot of people that know me know that I'm not fond of the founder. But I think a lot of the people that are in the religion now, they're very good people. And
Like
I have
Joseph
friends
Smith?
that are LDS, and I think it's great, that you're happy in it. And, the
Yeah.
community. One time we talked about,
Yeah,
kids.
totally.
Yeah, they offer the best things. I just disagree with the founder. That's all.
And that's
I just don't.
Joseph Smith, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just don't
okay.
think any man should touch little girls. That's all. I don't care if God tells you to touch little girls, whatever. That's all. You know. But anyway, so
I
but
have
it's like
nothing against
it
Mormonism.
no,
Just want to
nothing.
say. I have
Yes,
nothing
me
either.
either. I don't have any either. I just don't like the founder. But
My
that's
best
it.
friend used to be Mormon.
Yeah, I used to be. You used to be a Mormon? You used to be Mormon?
No, I said my best friend used to be Mormon.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, so the second one was a little. I don't know. You can help me come up with a description of what this is. So I think
Okay.
I told you that before. It's also when I lived in Provo, Utah, happened. So I got pregnant with my oldest child when I my senior year, the last semester. So, we're dirt poor and didn't have insurance because we were college student, had no money. We qualified for Medicaid. So these days, that's why I'm very happy to pay taxes, and any kind of healthcare subsidies. I'm all for it because I was helped, right? I
Great.
understand. So we were on Medicaid, so there's like a list of doctors that you could go to, gynecologists, right? So I can oh, I was working in school, and I think this girl told me that, oh, this is a doctor I went to. And apparently many pregnant college students in Provo, Utah back then didn't have insurance, and a lot of them were on Medicaid, and they said, oh yeah, they take Medicaid, these doctors take Medicaid. This one, I went to, he's fine. So we had this doctor, I'll say Dr. X. He's on the news, but I just don't want to mention his name. Dr. X.
On the
It's good soul.
news? It sounds creepy.
Yeah. So I went to him, and my ex-husband, bless his heart, like in a good way, not bless your heart, but really bless his heart. He was with me in every single appointment. So, it's we had to go to a doctor when you're pregnant, but it's pretty invasive. A lot of the stuff, right? A doctor, the gynecologists do to women.
Yeah.
So, I and they had to. It's their profession, and so we went every single visit, and then I think the last month you have to go every week, and it was in November, on the first week of November, and he's checking, and because I think the baby was due mid October, and then he said, well, I'm going on vacation for Thanksgiving. So if you don't have this baby, another doctor would need to deliver the baby and have to split the fees with him. And at first I thought, why is it my problem? Right? I just thought about it. I didn't say anything because I was like so young. I was 25, I think. So I knew nothing. So, my ex-husband and I just thought that he was just rambling, right? The second visit, the second week. And he checked and he said, I'm not sure if the baby will come on the due date. And I was like, oh. And I thought, okay, well, I guess another doctor would deliver the baby. And then all of a sudden I felt this sharp pain um happening there. And I was like,
Hmm.
ow.
Jesse was
And
coming.
then I said,
Surprise!
and then is what happened. And he said, oh, I just stripped your membrane to help you get into labor. Like, he didn't say anything. He didn't discuss that with me. I'm like, oh, that hurts. So this is the first surprise about this incident. When I said, oh, ow, it just hurts. And he said, come on, you liked it. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's the
He's
first
on.
surprise.
No wonder he's on the news.
So after that, neither of us said anything because we were like young, we didn't know. And in the car, my ex-husband said, that was a little weird, that comment. I said, yeah. Anyway, the baby was delivered, and the baby. And everything, I just went off with my life. And about a year ago, I was reading the news and says, Utah Dr. X will is indicted, the court date, blah blah. And at first I thought, what? It is about a lot of women sue him for like misconduct. And a lot of women, because they were young college students, they were young Mormon girls, didn't know a lot about the sexual thing, and later on they said that this doctor molested them.
The sexual
But
thing.
I guess my saving grace was, I don't remember, or maybe I didn't know that he, like, they were saying something like the breast exam were a little too long, touching places that is inappropriate, and forcing something when they're lying on their stomach, forcing the finger in or something like that, like something gross. And my ex-husband was there with me the whole time. So that none of that happened to me. That one comment was so weird. But
You have to tell me Doctor Who. Like, I need to figure out who that fucker is.
I would. Do you want me to tell you now or after we?
I mean, like, has he been convicted? Like, what?
No. So at first I thought it was his son, and then when I looked at the news, it was like 70-some-year-old. He was still practicing. So I thought, oh my gosh, is that because a lot of doctors' son becomes doctors too. But it's not son, it's him, because it's 70-something. So it would have been the right age, right? Because I was 20-something and he was probably 40-ish. So it's him. So it says in the article that he voluntarily gave up his license to practice until the court date, and ended up they could not convict him because I honestly, I think it's because it's in Utah, but they said that technicality, it's very difficult because where is the line on the things that you should do as a professional gynecologist and crossing the line. So they could not convict him. So I was surprised when I saw I was not, but I was more surprised as, wow, I was part of it. Did you find it? You found him, didn't you?
I just did a search, and there's a
It
guy
starts with a
called
B,
Dr.
right?
David Broadbent.
Oh, that's him. You said it. Yep, that's him.
Well, I mean, it's public knowledge, right? Like, it's out here. David Broadbent.
So, yeah.
They charged him with multiple felonies: object rape, forcible sexual abuse.
Yeah.
He's still awaiting
trial. Him, though, last I saw. Or is this still going on?
He's awaiting trial. Hundreds of former patients have filed civil lawsuits accusing him of sexual battery and assault during medical exams. Some women alleging misconduct.
Though. But the federal,
the criminal charges,
court,
he has pleaded.
They couldn't.
He has pleaded not guilty to these charges and is awaiting trial.
Okay, I thought it was done. They couldn't convict him. I thought, okay, that's good. Yeah, I think he preyed on young girls. First got married, didn't know much about sex because of the culture. He preyed on that, and I think if there's hundreds of a lot of women collaborated. I mean, I had my experience with him, so I am not surprised at all that he
Yeah,
did it to other women.
that's crazy.
That was my surprise. I didn't think I would be part of something like that.
Not so weird when you consider that at least 1 in 2 women, minimum of 1 in 2 women, has been in some way assaulted by some guy.
I mean, both you and I had a male doctor that he was great, I think. But after him, I just wanted a female doctor. And ended up that, we were handed to a female doctor. But since I heard that, because it's during when our both female doctor, that's when I read that. After I moved here, I specifically requested a female doctor. I was like, no freaking way, So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any parts down there anymore, so I'm.
Yeah, but doesn't matter. It's still creepy, right?
Yeah, it's totally creepy. Talk about a surprise. Yeah. Damn, you're just accumulating. You got the murderer, serial murderer. Then
He
you go to
wasn't,
a
or I would have been
serial
dead.
rapist, a serial sex offender anyway.
And I met his parents.
And
No, I met the first guy's parents.
yeah, you met
So
the
he
first
killed
guy's
me.
parents. The second guy, you
Mhm.
didn't meet his parents, but
No.
I'm guessing the third guy is some sort of serial money embezzler or
I don't
something
have
like
a third
that.
guy. No, I don't have a third guy. That's weird. So the third surprise, which will be the last one I share, then you can do the rapid fire. But it's more like, empowerment of my late mother. That she surprised
Oh, right
me
on.
in a good way.
Right on.
In a good way. So you know how traditional Chinese parents, the mother, they would want girls to marry a rich guy, comfortable, and
Doctor, lawyer,
yeah, and
banker.
probably even help them financially or whatever, whether they need it or not, so they could brag, right? All that. And so when me and my husband first got married, I was 23. My big complaint of my parents was that I was too young, and they didn't think I knew what I was doing.
How do you feel about that?
I think they're right. So listen to your parents, you guys out there, all y'all. They were right. Not that my ex-husband wasn't a good person. It's just that I just didn't know what I was doing, didn't know me, and whatever, all that good things. Unfortunately, true truth. And so I got divorced, and I was really worried because I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to listen to this lecture that I told you so, never stop. Because after I got divorced, I took the girls with me, go home to visit her. And I got there, stayed with my parents with the girls. And, every day she didn't say anything to me. I mean, my dad wasn't a nagger. I didn't expect any nagging from my father, but my mom, I was like, oh my God, but she didn't say anything. I thought, oh my gosh, she must be really pissed. But
Yeah.
not saying anything is worse, right? So I finally, summoned my inner strength. And after
Courage.
dinner, I thought, okay, I gotta eat first. Otherwise, I'm gonna faint. And after dinner, I was like, so, Mom, can I ask you a question? She said, sure. I said, well, I know you thought I was too young to get married and you didn't really want me to get married, and now I'm divorced. Are you mad at me? Are you disappointed? What is it? And then she said, why would I be? And I thought, oh my gosh, she must be really pissed. And she said, you know, you went and had an education, you got a job, and you decided, I don't like this guy. Just go. You can just go. You have the means, you have the ability to just leave the person that you don't want to be with. When it was my time, I didn't even like your father after X number of years. Now that was a surprise. I was like, oh, okay, don't hold it on me. But she wasn't. It wasn't like she was complaining. You know how a lot of couples, they don't like each other, but it's become something deeper. So I couldn't leave. There's no way I could leave. Yeah, you are good. You did all the right things, so you could just leave. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know she was so progressive. So that was a big surprise to me.
She was feminist for sure.
Yeah, and I think a lot of things spilled out after that I realized, like, in I don't know if you heard those story, like, long time ago. I would say Chinese. I don't want to say Asian because I don't know all the country. Sometimes Chinese men would marry multiple women because the original wife couldn't give him a son or couldn't give him any children at all, right? And they'll marry more. Not that they would divorce, but they would just collect more wives until they get a son.
Yeah.
And my mom was actually saying, like, I've never gone to school. I can't even read. Why would they blame it on women? We have an egg. It's about the man can give themselves a son or not. And I thought,
Wow.
oh, wow. And that's true. The men determine that, the sperm. So my mother was really smart, I thought. And progressive, really feminist. You're right. So that was my surprises.
That's awesome. I think it's good to understand something like that about your mom.
Yeah.
Because it's not super traditional.
Growing up, it was just, she just nags and be really unreasonable and, says some horrible stuff. But you know what? She was smarter than I thought.
All moms nag. We all feel like they nag, but in fact, they don't. They just want to be, they want to make it good for you.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. Sometimes I've seen some nagging. Not my own mother. I've seen other mother nags. I was like, oh my God. But going back is they just want something good for us.
Yeah. And they're trying something. May or may not work, right?
Right.
But those were like excellent surprises. So 2 cereals and one tender one about your mom. So it's nice to finish with something so nice after some creepy ones.
Well, the first guy might not be a serial killer. I think back that he kind of looked at his car. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of car he drove, but it was like the oldish, sportish looking car, but it's not very nice. And I remember I sat in there. There was like a really distinct smell. Maybe there was a dead body in there before or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm just talking. Sorry.
So we'll just call him a serial murderer, a serial killer.
Maybe. Yeah.
And then there was a serial sex offender.
Yeah.
And then a story about your mom. So overall, I think our listeners probably would be more excited about the first 2 ones because they're really on the edge of your seat. But you survived, right? The fact that you're there. But you did get poked by the serial sex offender, so I don't know.
Well, I think he was really just doing the doctor thing because my ex-husband was sitting there, right next to me. I mean...
Yeah, but your ex-husband was not a big guy that could have, I can see your ex-husband punching somebody in the nose, but I can't really see him do that. I can't.
Yeah. He was a good deterrent. Let's put it that way, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway. So I'm ready for some rapid fire if you have them for me.
Do you think I should do this right before rapid fire? Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. Woohoo! Look at that.
Okay, so I got some really weird questions for you. If your house, because recently we spoke a couple of days ago, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I have you and your aliens, right? You and your aliens are quite friendly." Yeah. And so it made me think about aliens a fair bit. And I wonder if your house became sentient, what would be the first thing it would complain about?
That it would complain about what?
If your house became sentient, like if it had a mind of its own, what would your house complain about?
The carpet upstairs. It would say, get rid of it. It's full of microbes that it's gonna create some disease to eat them alive. I hate carpet. And I'm sure the sentient hates carpet. I don't even know who thinks that was a good idea.
I prefer rugs myself. And I have carpet in my bedroom and I hate it.
Rugs is a tripping hazard when you get old. So watch for that. I don't allow rugs in my house. I just totally killed it. Rob loves rugs. I was like, nope. Plus, I have a lot of animals. It's hard to clean.
Yeah, they might pee on the rug. What, speaking of animals, what animal, any animal, do you suspect is much ruder than we think?
Animals that are ruder. Oh, what is that called? Chipmunks.
Okay, tell me about that.
So I love chipmunks. They're very cute, I thought. So I feed them. And so I put it the feeder, not feeder, like I have a picnic table for them. A little picnic table is built for critters. I put it there for them, and there are 2 or 3 different family or sets of chipmunks. I mean, a chipmunk is like what, this big, and that plate was like this big, and I filled it to the top, and there's plenty to go around, and they fight each other. It was just rude. I was like, it's there. I'll refill it if you need it. Why are you fighting?
They want their own
same
plates.
goes for hummingbirds. Actually, hummingbirds are very mean too. They're so pretty and so cute, but they're very mean. So I would say chipmunks and hummingbirds. Even you feed them, there's plenty. They're rude to each other.
Yeah. I thought you would say like horses, because when you ride them, they fart sometimes, or some, But chipmunks and hummingbirds,
they are. Yeah, they're very rude. Like they're so tiny, but they're rude.
Recently, we did an episode where you had a hand on the top of your head and one on your stomach, and that on top of the 2 arms that you have. You had an arm here and an arm. So, if you had to replace handshakes, because we talked about handshakes being very difficult to do when you have so many hands. It's like, how many hands do you shake, and how do you? So, if you had to replace handshakes with something else, what are we doing?
Oh, I would totally do. Can I demonstrate?
Yeah.
I would totally do a bump.
Hip bump.
Yeah.
I see.
Because that's. So someone told me a story one time about going into the men's bathroom, seeing somebody he knew. After he did this thing, he didn't wash his hands and left. So since then, I feel like I don't want to touch people's hands, really. So for the bum, I think most people wipe their bum, and also you wear pants, so you don't really have actual, and it's not like a hug. A hug, you go in, you lean in, right? And it's a little bit more intimate, but with a bump, then
I mean, a bum, it's quite intimate too, it's like butt
but
to
it's
butt.
like a quick bump. It's not like you bum and hold.
And
There's
shake
no bump and hold. Just go. Right?
It could be dangerous though. Like if you have kind of a round bum like I do and the other person doesn't, you could send them flying off. Boom. Bye.
Or my bums will hurt your bum. My bum's
Probably
bony.
not. Probably not. Next time I see you, we'll try the bum kiss.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It.
It's a bum kiss. French people, we kiss on the cheeks. You know, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I
Like
know.
if somebody is a friend of somebody, everybody kisses. Men, women, everybody kisses. So
So I think what we need to do is we do the live session when I'm at your house. We would
yeah,
bump.
bum kiss. Yeah, we
Yeah,
demonstrate how the bum kiss
yeah,
works. Except that
exactly.
I will put a bunch of pillows on the side, your side, because I'll probably bum you into oblivion.
You might
Okay,
be surprised how
what?
strong my bump is.
Yeah, that's true. You might. I've seen that before. I've seen you be very strong before and very aggressive. Uh, so, what's the least impressive thing you could become famous for?
The least
World famous,
impressed.
not like just famous around the neighborhood, but like world famous. Like you have a special talent.
I don't have any talent. That's the problem.
Fuck that. Okay, you. I mean, there is something special about you that you could become world famous about.
Uh, having no talent? No, seriously, because you could be pretty amazing to present how, present if you present your non-talent well. There's so many people out there has no talent. The social media, like people, they just become so famous. People
They
love
just have
them.
the
It was
wrong
like totally
talent. They're
ridiculous.
showcasing the wrong talent, but I think you have plenty of talents. We'll have to get back to that because I think we'll think on this.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So assume that in your farmhouse that you live in, it's been there for a long time and you have a cemetery in your property. So you must have ghosts in the house. So what modern technology do you have in your house that gets them real confused?
Gets them real confused. Modern
Yeah.
technology.
Or scared or,
Uh,
just affects them the most.
I think photographs, like taking pictures, would get them really confused because, like, let's say I hold up my phone and take a picture, right? And then I'll be like sitting here and looking at the picture. I probably snapped them, and then they're over my shoulder looking, and it's like, wait, is that me? How did me get into this box? Am I
They would
trapped in this
speak like that too.
box?
They would say, how did me?
Yeah. How did me?
Oh.
That's my talent. Wrong grammar.
Those are like some really old ghosts. How did me get here? Me don't understand.
Yeah,
Okay, would you?
exactly.
So if you were to ask me the same question, I think I would be. My ghost would be potentially confused by two things: the washer and the dryer.
Why?
Because the fucking sheets. They'd be like, I'd be grabbing a sheet with the ghost in it, putting it in the washer, and the thing goes like this. Then I get the sheet out, put it in the washer, then it goes like that, and it's warm. First time they get wet, second time they get dry. I think my ghost would come out and they'd be like, okay, we're not ghosts anymore. We're just out of here. Can you
And I
imagine that?
smell. And I
And I
smell.
smell like laundry or not laundry.
No. Well, back then it would be you dry stuff in the coastline, the sun, that fresh sun
Yeah,
drenched smell.
yeah.
They'll be like, what the hell? These artificial smell. What is
Well, I
it?
love that. I love clothes dried in the sun. It
I
smells
did
so
that at
good.
your parents' house. I don't know if you remember. I have a picture for it too. It's
My
so
mom
pretty.
still does this stuff. So
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Hopefully, after
So
the remodeling, I will have
so
clothesline.
that's where I was going. You're in the middle of remodeling. You're
Mm.
like you're doing a bunch of work. What if you told your husband or your husband told you you're allowed because he tells you what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do apparently. No. But what if he said, let's add another room to the house. It doesn't have to be a useful room, but let's
Hmm.
have a completely unnecessary room added to the house. What would
Karaoke.
it be?
Karaoke.
Really?
Yeah. It'll be fun. You come to my house, you can sing.
That's great.
Everybody comes to my house can sing. In fact, every party I'm gonna throw is you have to go to the karaoke room and at least sing one song before you come out and eat the food, or else you don't get to eat.
Yeah, it's definitely an unnecessary room. And I think you'd enjoy it. You would do it all the time.
Yeah. And then when everybody's drunk, they'll go back in, and you couldn't get them out because they'll be singing.
I wouldn't like that part. I wouldn't like any of that. I've done karaoke with very drunk people, and at some point, nobody can sing.
It's great. That's the great karaoke.
It's loud, and nobody can sing. And if you're not drunk like me, then it's...
No, I laugh because, okay, if I want to hear good singing, I'll go to a concert. I'll stream a song. Karaoke.
No, but when people get drunk, they get really, really awful at singing. But
that's great.
But it's true that it's funny.
You could have gotten rich. You could have like filmed it and blackmail every single one of them.
I could. I'm kind of known for taking pictures when people are drunk, so.
You should have.
Okay. Which fruit, of all the fruit that you're eating, since you're putting that in your cocktails, which fruit would be the biggest asshole of all the fruits?
Asshole?
I think I know, yeah.
Like any fruit or only the fruits that I have access to? Durian. Durian. It's like literally smell like it's coming out of your ass. I love it. Not your ass.
So you're an ass girl. You want to bum kiss and then you want to eat the ass. I didn't say it. You did.
No. That's like the king of fruits. Durian is so good. It smells like shit, but it's good.
Yeah.
It smells like bum. It does.
I think I need a minute.
Like Diane Keaton there just now.
Like
when you turn.
Then that's beautiful. That's amazing.
It's beautiful. Like it looks just like Diane Keaton.
Okay.
I want your hair.
Dorian. If you woke up tomorrow and you were like 7-8 feet tall, what is the first thing you would do?
First thing I would do if I was 7 or 8. Oh my God. I would go and trim that freaking forsythia down to 5 feet tall. That thing was just like up 20 feet almost now. Yeah. First thing I would do. Trim that sucker.
So if you had a regular size object in your house and all of a sudden it grew like 10 times, what object would be the most scary?
The most scary thing that it would grow 10 times, object, animate or inanimate,
any object.
Doesn't matter. Any object would grow 10 times as scary. I don't know. How about you?
I was thinking like the foot files, the files that they use when they file your feet.
Yeah.
That would be quite scary. Or cheese grater.
Oh.
Cheese graters are also terrifying. 10 times a cheese grater. You'd be like, how? Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But that's pretty bad. But like
big,
animals are easy, right? You don't want a big huge rat or mouse grow 10
You don't
times.
even want a small little one.
I actually think smaller one. No, they're mean. I've seen those New York subway, those big rats that as big as a cat. Those are scary, and people just jump up. They run the city. So, anywho. Well,
so last question.
Okay.
Let's go back to aliens. They ask you to explain humans with using just one object. Just regular size object. What do you give them?
To give it to them?
Yeah, so you can explain humans.
I'm just like looking around. Okay, object, or can it be alive and animate object, or
Yeah, whatever. That's just, yeah. I
um
mean, you're not going to hand
so
them off a baby. You're just going to, hand them an object.
okay, I will give them a Rubik cube.
Okay. That's it? That's all you're going to tell me?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say, look, this cube, if you're learning about human, you will only see one side of it. But if you get to know us more, you'll see all sides of it. But it would it would take a lot of work to learn how, because I never was able to do it. Am I dumb? Yeah, you're shaking your head. I couldn't do all sides. I never spend the time. I just don't have the patience. Basically, you need some patience as well to learn all about humans. So we're kind of like that. We're pretty complex. We could get pretty complex. But once you get to know, you can get to know us really quickly.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty dumb. I was never able to do all sides. I don't have patience.
That's okay. I still love you.
But you could do it, right?
A long time ago. I haven't tried one in a long time. I have one somewhere. I should.
I mean, there is
try.
a pattern that you can follow to. Yeah,
I mean, it's
I never
normal.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
it's pretty simple once you know it.
Yeah.
So okay, well that was my last one. So I thought instead of durian you would say like pineapple or something like that, because pineapples are pretty bitchy sort of asshole fruits. But
well,
durian,
durian is worse.
like your whole entire reason for durian is it smells like ass, but I want to eat it. It's just it's your thing. I hope your children don't watch this one this time, because they will be like, oh, they already know that you eat ass.
Yeah, they already knew.
Okay. This isn't like the last surprise of this show for me, is that, what you're willing to eat. That smells like ass. But
yes, pretty much so. But with that
hey,
said,
I eat camembert.
Yeah, I'm Ronit on the East Coast.
And I'm Westgate on the West Coast, BC.
And we are
Hopelessly. We are. Hopelessly. Almost. Entirely. Okay, hopelessly.
Hopelessly. Hopelessly unedited.
Yay, we did it.
Yay. Woo. Okay, see you guys next time. Bye.